Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Potsmaker's Bible. My name is Zion. I'm the author of the Potsmaker's Bible, which contains the prophetic book of Zion, where I get my name and authority. It comes from the Ketuvim, or Old Testament of the Hebrew Bible. I use the Christian King James Version of the Bible to put together the prophecy of Israel from the scattered testimony of the various prophets of the Old Testament. It became the book of Zion. And in order to publish the Book of Zion, I had to write the Pot Smoker's Bible because the Book of Zion is written entirely in Bible verse and therefore cannot be published by itself. And when I finished writing the Book of Zion the first time, I found contained within it a set of instructions that I was uniquely qualified to fulfill. And so I did. I took it upon myself to fulfill every stipulation of the prophecy of Israel, up to and including publishing peace on YouTube and social media free of charge, which is the final act of prophecy that I'm required to perform. I began publishing peace on 420 of last year, and now I'm actually reading to you from the second go-through of the Potsmaker's Bible and Book of Zion. So if you're into it and you want to see what happens next, you'll have to go back in the feed, find where I left off and pick up from there. Or you can just wait until I reread it to you starting today. So I'm just going to pick up where I left off on the 24th chapter of the Potsmaker's Bible, which contains the 21st chapter of the Book of Zion. And it goes like this: Zion is the light of the gray. She is the light of the people of earth. She is the protection of all life. She is the Moses of her age, fighting to free her children. She is a way to overcome human failings. She is prophet. She is matriarch. She is teacher. She is priestess. It is Zion who saves. Salvation is the core message of the Zionite prophecy. The salvation of the human race. Salvation of a new kind of human animal, the gray. Zion saves what is best about humanity, but she saves other species too. The Intermountain Domain is an ark. We will genetically save as many species as we can. We will also save plant diversity too. But in our ark, we will have the means to regenerate the animals we bring back. So our future tigers can be, as the Bible says, eaters of grass, so that a child may play with an asp, a very dangerous snake. So Zion is the Moses-like figure of the family of Abraham. But to the rest of society, she is more like a Noah, who has the powers of Jesus to forgive sins. She is a multi-dimensional prophet who saves a lot more than just a single family. She saves all life on earth. Her light is the light of truth. It is the light of knowledge of God. It is the light of reason and advanced science, and a way to save the poorest of the earth from Zion is an all-embracing servant of God and humanity. Which brings us to our next passage, Isaiah 60:1-7, which becomes Zion 21:19-25. Arise, shine, for thy light has come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee. For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. But the Lord shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee. And the Gentiles shall come to thy light, and to the brightness of thy rising. Lift up thine eyes, and see, all they gather themselves together. They come to thee. Thy sons shall come from afar, and thy daughters shall be nursed at thy side. Then shalt thou see and flow together, and thy heart shall fear and be enlarged, because the abundance of the sea shall be converted unto thee. The forces of the Gentiles shall come unto thee. The multitudes of camels shall cover thee, the dromedaries of Midian and Ephah, all they from Sheba shall come. They shall bring gold and incense, and they shall show forth the praises of the Lord. All the flocks of Kedar shall be gathered together unto thee. The rams of Neberha shall minister unto thee. They shall come up with acceptance on thine altar, and I will glorify the house of my glory. Arise and shine, for thy light has come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee. Zion is the light of the gray and the gray. As the light of the gray, she is the link between humanity and the true God of our ancestors. As the light of the small gray, Zion is the mother who suffers for her children, saving them from themselves, their enemies. She is leader, teacher, and queen. As the light of the big G gray, she is the prophet of a higher order of beings that are akin to the God of earth. But these beings aren't idols. She is an opener of the way for all humans to ascend into these higher levels of existence. It took a hellish life to teach me the truth of human history, the truth of the human soul, the truth of reality, the truth of spirit, and the knowledge of a higher form of human. Now I understand enough to shine the light of truth into our world of lies and darkness. The next passage goes on, For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. But the Lord shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee. The cover of this book is a depiction of our world as I saw it when I said that faithful prayer. I saw myself standing at the edge of an abyss, about to fall into insanity. This dark plain, where I walk my path, is an expression of the darkness of our psyche. We live in this darkness. All of the negative things that we do on earth create dark energy. Every time you sin, you create a darkness that creates a matrix for our reality. We are what we do. If we do wrong, we are wrong. Humanity has created a dark, negative world. Ignorance is the greatest darkness of the people. For Zionites, it binds us to our suffering, but to the rest of humanity, it is a death sentence. The more evil you do, the more evil you are. The more evil you are, the lower you go in the chain of life. All of our false beliefs and our refusal to see our faults has led us down a path of destruction. To save ourselves, we must reverse our beliefs and our way of living. We must embrace positive beliefs and energy. I am a bubble of light in a dark world. I understand that I am a being of light encased in flesh. I choose to create joy. I know that joy and truth can banish all darkness. You also are a bubble in a dark world. Choose to be a source of light. It is easy to be dark, but the reward of joy is joy. If you embrace joy, you will become joy. Let your bubble of energy be the light of joy, because your joy adds to mine. We are all a part of the energy field of the earth. Our bubbles are part of the life force of this planet. The polarity of the earth depends on the living beings on it. We create the energy field, our electromagnetic shield that draws in the solar energy that sustains us. Our bubbles are in part a solar energy that we take in. So if we all begin to choose to create joy, we can end the darkness that creates suffering for all life on this planet. We can't undo the damage that we've already done, but we can create a new foundation for a society to come. The passage goes on, and the Gentiles shall come to thy light, and to the brightness of thy rising. When you read this book, you will witness the brightness of my rising. The truth of joy is a very powerful thing. It banishes all sorrow. If you learn joy from this book, you will add to my brightness. We can all be bright lights that banish all sorrow with our joy. This book is for all of humanity. The Gentiles will come to this joy because this book includes them. All sacred texts are present. Every nationality is represented. No one is excluded. All will find a familiar aspect to this new combined religion. A big part of the darkness of our emotional energy field is based on the separation of faith. Our many religions have divided us, and at the same time has allowed us to perceive each other as an enemy. By combining religious knowledge, we break this darkness that colors our emotions with hate. The next part of the passage states, Lift up thine eyes and see. All they gathered themselves together. They come to thee. Thy sons shall come from afar, and thy daughters shall be nursed at thy side. When I put this online, it will gather my children to me. People from all over the world will come to Zion to live as we were always meant to live, as a nation of priests whose chief job is to spread joy to all they encounter. When we get together and all of our bubbles of joy merge, we will truly be a force for good. Our mutual joy will change the way the world works. The true matrix of Earth is made of light. Once we free that light from the current darkness that encases it, that light will create reality, not the darkness that now dominates our matrix at this time. Our children will benefit from this newfound sense of joy and righteousness. They will grow up in a society that cherishes them. They will be nurtured and provided with a whole new way of life. They will never know our sorrow and our struggle to survive in a world that hates us for our joy. The next part of the passage states, Then thou shalt see and flow together, and thy heart shall fear, and be enlarged, because of the abundance of the sea shall be converted into thee, and the forces of the Gentiles shall come into thee. There is only one family on earth that is larger than the family of Abraham, and that is the family known as Gentiles. So when it says that the Gentiles will come bearing gifts, that's a huge, beyond huge. Many times as I read this passage, I try to imagine how huge an endeavor I've undertaken. To have a nation created by your own hand is beyond thought. But to receive the wealth of the nations added to that, I'm so very in awe. I get almost panical to imagine so many people dependent on my action, and to have so many nations working with us is almost unimaginable. The next part of the passage, the multitude of camels shall cover thee, the dromedaries of Midian and Ephod, all they from Sheba shall come, and they shall bring gold and incense, and they shall show forth the praises of the Lord. This verse illustrates the abundance of goods that will go through Zion on the way to the intergalactic markets. The camels and dromedaries is a depiction of their forms of transport. All the flocks of Kedar shall be gathered together unto thee, it says. The rams of Nebaha shall minister unto thee. They shall come up with acceptance upon thine altar, and I will glorify the house of my glory. And there I'll leave off today. So may the Great watch over you, guide you, protect you, and keep you from all harm. And may they teach you right from wrong. May your thoughts, words, and deeds reflect truth hidden light. May the Great teach you the right way. Stay happy and high. If you use drugs, you have every right and reason to. Choose wisely when you choose your guild choice in Zion. It'll be your career. I love you too much to say goodbye, so I'm going to say later now.